What's up, guys? It's Josh Fan from Fantastic Detailing, back with another video for you guys. And today's video isn't going to be about cars or detailing, but rather my 16-foot 1981 Lund aluminum boat renovation. So I've spent the past few weeks renovating this boat that I actually picked up a couple years ago. I picked it up a couple years ago for, I want to say, $1,500, and got a good deal on it. And I'm going to flash some pictures up on the screen of what it looked like when I first got it. And like I said, I've had it for a couple of years, and I actually did an initial renovation project on this boat, but I had a casting deck that went all the way to the front. I decided to scrap that, and I redid the wiring on this boat, made a few changes that I've been wanting to make because I wasn't 100% satisfied with the job that I did the first time. You know, I have very limited experience in this space. All that said, though, I had a ton of fun building this boat and making it what it is now. I mean, the transformation is just absolutely incredible. Doesn't look like the same boat anymore. But yeah, I scrapped the front casting deck because it was a little bit of a weight distribution concern. I know a lot of people, or I watch a lot of videos where people redo these boats and they have the full casting deck. But on a smaller, older aluminum boat like this, you know, they were never meant to have casting decks. And, you know, I was thinking about the uses that I'm going to have with this boat. And while I'm going to do a lot of bass fishing, crappie fishing, stuff of that sort, I'm also going to be doing a lot of catfishing in it. And so I felt like a sitting cavity in the front where you have more room to, you know, kind of work around. I was going to use noodles, and I'm going to record some footage here in a couple weeks of me taking this boat out for the first time at Lake of the Ozarks back in Missouri. My family's got a place down there. Haven't been there in a few years now because I've been busy up here in South Dakota, but I'm really wanting to take this boat down to Lake of the Ozarks and see how it does. You know, it's got a 25 horsepower outboard tiller on the back of it, which is plenty of horsepower to push two people in an aluminum boat. We're going to be able to get to all of our favorite fishing spots, I think. Shouldn't have a problem. But yeah, I'm going to give you guys a tour here in a second. Everything I did to the boat, I'll explain everything, kind of show you guys around, and yeah, let's go for it. All right, so I suppose what we'll do here is we'll kind of start from the outside. I'll walk around a little bit. So first things first, I ended up painting the boat to a much nicer, cleaner looking light blue. Really gave it a refresh. I used an oil-based enamel paint on the outside and then finished it off with an automotive based clear coat. So and I coated it plenty of times, so it should hold up pretty well to the elements, to the water. And as you can see, I also repainted the trailer to match. The trailer was kind of rough looking when I first got it, but it's got brand new wheels and tires, brand new hubs and bearings, been painted, new trailer lights. And then you can see I got some old school retro Lund logos that I ended up putting on the outside. And there's another one on the other side, and you can see I have an extra one that I ended up putting on the inside. And then I have a rod holder on the back, just so, you know, if you're fishing and you got maybe like a catfish rod hanging off the back while you guys are sitting idle or something like that, just decide to put this here, and then you can easily remove it from when you put the cover on. So a nice little feature that I added there. Here's the 25 horsepower outboard. It's a Johnson, and still going going under a little bit of work right now. I had to get a new pinion gear for the lower unit. I'm still waiting on some parts to come in the mail, so it's a work in progress, but it's getting a lot of new parts. It's getting, you know, almost a complete refresh, new spark plugs, new plug wires, fuel pump, all that good stuff. See, I got a transducer on the back here. For one of my fish finders. This boat is actually equipped with two fish finders, excuse me, which you guys will see here in a minute. And then I have a transom mounted trolling motor. Now, I know these are a little less popular than your front mounted trolling motors, but for this smaller boat, I think a transom mounted trolling motor makes a lot more sense. So that's what I ended up going with, and it was way easier to set up, because if I got a front one, I probably would have had to cut like some sort of plate to go on the front to actually fit a front mounted trolling motor. I've seen people that end up putting these or making a bracket, or I know they sell brackets where you can put these on the front and then turn the handle around. Only thing with that though is it's kind of hard on the hull because the hull is not meant to hold a big heavy trolling motor. So that's why I decided to do that. And then right here is where the battery sits. I got a battery tray. When you're out in the water, of course, it'll be strapped in. But wires all of my accessories and the trolling motor. I'm thinking about getting a separate battery for the trolling motor as well, because that's what's recommended. But I just don't know where I'm going to put the other battery. So we'll see. I mean, I don't have a ton of stuff that's a huge draw as far as the electronics go, which you guys will see here in a minute. And to kind of help with that problem, I actually ended up installing this solar battery maintainer. It's 1.8 amps. So, while the boat's just sitting out in the sun, while it's tied up to the dock, or if you're out fishing even, you can hook it up to the battery and it will keep it topped off. So I'm really glad I did that, and it's a nice feature that I added in. All right, so now going on the inside of the boat. Here we've got the main, I guess, cockpit is what you could call it. And I have 2 seats here. Bought these from Bass Pro. Now, on many of these setups, you see like the one seat in the middle, because people, when they have the tiller handle, you kind of want the seat to be more so in the middle so you have the full range of motion. Whereas this setup is a little bit different. I wanted 2 people to be able to sit, side by side kind of. And then these benches with EvaFoam on it, people can sit there too. So if I was actively driving this, if it was like me and my dad, right, I could just turn this seat to the side, sit down, and I still got full range of motion on the outboard motor. And then, you could maybe still have someone sitting here depending on how big they are. But if they got in the way, they could either just sit on those foamed benches, or you got the front sitting cavity, which we will definitely get to. But put all new carpet in this thing, as you can see. And then, you'll see these carpet decals throughout the boat. It's just one of those things that gives your boat like a professional bass boat look. And they're about $15, $20 a decal. So I got a few of them from some of my favorite, outdoor and fishing brands. So yeah, I think that was a really cool touch. But the EvaFoam, I think, is a nice complement to the gray carpet. Got the blue kind of marine look throughout the boat. I think it works really well. Then you can see I put a little fish ruler here on the inside. I also used clear coat over this stuff so that the decals stick on for a long, long time. And you can see some of my wiring here that goes from the battery and then some of the accessories to up here and then under this deck, because all the wiring pretty much sits under this deck. It's also very easily accessible. It's basically just a few screws, a handful of screws that are holding this, or exterior screws, I should say, that are holding this deck down. And then on the inside, this gray paint, because it was white before, same thing, oil-based enamel paint all the way around. Pretty durable for the most part. And then right here, we got 2 marine speakers and 2 cup holders. I thought these cup holders were a nice touch. You can have your soda or beer or whatever sitting here. I also have another one in the front that I'll show you guys. But these speakers, I ended up cutting holes into these. And if you guys have ever done one of these boat projects before and you tried to add marine speakers on these benches, you know it is an absolute pain, because not only do you have to cut through this metal, but there's also a bunch of foam in there that gives the boat a lot of its buoyancy, and you have to cut out a bunch of the foam too, and it gets real messy. Not fun, but I think this was the perfect spot for these 2 speakers, and it worked out really well. And then you can see I got my switch panel down here for all my accessories, and then you have the marine stereo sitting inside of here, protected from the elements. And then I put my fuse block out here along with the battery cutoff switch. And this is maybe the cleanest wiring job I've ever done on anything. I usually am not great at wiring, but I really took my time with this. And as I told you guys in the beginning, I ended up redoing the wiring because I just did kind of a crappy job last time, if I'm being honest. But most of the wiring runs underneath this decking, and then all the ground wires come through here, and then the switch panel is also basically double fused by being hooked up to this fuse block. But that way, if a fuse ever blows or anything like that, you got easy access. It's right inside of there. You replace it. You can inspect the wiring right here. So yeah, I think that turned out great. I'm actually going to go ahead and flip this switch on so I can show you guys some of the other features on this boat. You can see we have a Garmin Striker fish finder up here for whoever's sitting here. And I thought this was a good location to put it, considering I have the transom mounted trolling motor. So if you're fishing with this thing and you're trolling along the bank, you're going to want to see your fish finder right here. So I thought that was a really good spot for it. Ended up putting it right there. And then also, I should mention bilge pump back here, 1,100 gallons per hour. There was a bilge pump with a smaller hose in here before. I ended up replacing it with a brand new one with a larger hose, and I had to grind that hole a little bit bigger so that the output is way more, way faster. And I think it's going to be a nice upgrade for this boat, because a lot of you guys out there probably already know aluminum riveted boats, they leak and they take on water. So to know that I have a very strong bilge pump makes me very comfortable taking this thing out on the water. And then I have one storage hatch right here. Got a couple life jackets in there, fishing net, some other stuff. You can put some gear in here as well. When I had the front casting deck before, I had an additional storage hatch in the front, so I had to compromise. We're down to one storage hatch, but you can still easily put, tackle and stuff up here. And another, perk to having this kind of cavity up here instead of the full casting deck is I was able to add these rod holders, and I think they fit perfectly right here. I don't want to get too far ahead though, because I still want to focus on what all we got back here. So a lot of you might be wondering what the heck this cooler is right here that's sitting recessed in the casting deck. And actually, this is a homemade live well that I made. We got a 600 gallon per hour bilge pump that pumps water up through the hose, and then I got a spray bar that I made out of PCV pipe, or PVC pipe, excuse me. Always get that mixed up. I'm a big car guy. I'm always working on my car. Always get PCV and PVC mixed up. But yeah, no, it's a custom spray bar that I made, drilled some holes in it. Works really well. It's not a huge live well by any means, but small aluminum boat. I just wanted something big enough that I could keep, 2 or 3 nice sized bass in there at once, in case I ever did do like a tournament or something like that. Or if my dad and I were catching crappie and we wanted to cook them up, this is the perfect size to keep them in. And then when you're not using it as a live well, you can just use it as additional storage. So it's kind of, 2 birds with 1 stone. You got some additional storage here, and then it's also a live well. And then for filling it up, I was just going to use a bucket to get water from the lake, and then you just fill this up. A couple bucket fills, that's probably all it needs, and it'll be filled up. And then to drain it, I have an additional hose right here, this one, that you just use and put it over the side, and it will pump all the water out. It's attached to the switch panel. You can hear it working right now. So yeah, I'm really stoked about this. Can't wait to use it. And then you guys might also see I have some more switches. This one is for the bilge pump. You might be able to hear it working right now, but it definitely is. Definitely want to make sure it works before you go out on the water. And then I have a switch for the stereo itself. That way you do have the option to turn it off. I wanted the option to be able to turn everything on and off so that you don't always have something drawing power from the battery. So like that fish finder right there, it's also hooked up to the switch panel. Even though it has a power button already, I just wanted it on the switch panel. I just feel better about it. And of course, you can charge your phone or plug in, a cigarette lighter down here too. Then we have these LED lights. I've got green here in the back, and then I've got some blue LED lights throughout the bow. And I'm really stoked about those because they look super cool at night. I'll probably actually attach a video at the end that shows you guys what this thing looks like at night, because it looks absolutely amazing. I don't know how much I'll actually fish at night, but I did rig this thing up to where if you wanted to take it out at night, it's ready for that. We've got navigation lights. We've got, the bow and stern light. And then I also have headlights on the front. Not sure if you guys saw those at the beginning, but they're at the very front, super bright. And they're going to be perfect for if you're coming back into the cove at night and you're trying to dock the boat up, you got something lighting up the way. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part as far as the switches go. I guess I should show you guys the stereo turning on. Also lights up blue, which matches the boat well. So it's got Bluetooth capabilities, all that good stuff. I'm trying to turn it on. I don't know if it's working. Well, that's right, I don't have the switch on. Duh. But yeah, there's the stereo right there.
Necessary
so
to really help alleviate.
Yep. Speakers work.
And
there you guys have it. But we'll move forward with the boat tour. So that's pretty much everything back here. Pretty spacious for the most part. It's going to be awesome. You know, I don't expect more than 2 or 3 people to be on this thing at a time, but I think it definitely accommodates. You guys saw this already. And then if you'll notice, I have 2 rod holders, one on each side. And that way, you know, if you were fishing, let's just say you were, I don't know, anchored down somewhere or something like that, and you had some catfish lines out, you can just put them right in here and wait and see if anything happens. Just another place to put your rod. I wanted plenty of places to store your rods on here because you're definitely going to be taking fishing rods out and a lot of gear, and I think a lot of people forget that part, which is pretty much why I decided to do this setup instead in the front. Like I said, I got the rod holders up here. Nice blue color, matches the boat. These were already on the boat when I first bought it, so I ended up keeping those. Now, up here, it's just a cutout piece of wood for the front floorboard. And I should tell you guys, for the decking, I used severe weather plywood subflooring, and I used a wood hardener and an oil-based enamel again, and a clear coat on the wood so that it should be waterproof or at least very water resistant. I see a lot of people use, you know, just plain wood or even OSB strand board. There's a lot of people that insist on using OSB strand board on their fishing boat setup, and I would not do that because if it gets wet, the stuff's just going to disintegrate. Now, I will say this: if you paint it and you waterproof it, it'll probably hold up, but I would rather just use, you know, marine plywood if it's available near you, or just something stronger, something a little more durable. But yeah, anyway, got this seat up here. I ended up putting this in for the seat so you can easily remove the seat. You can also take the top of the seat out of there. Now, it's a little bit far forward for my comfort, and the reason I did that is because I originally was going to have the live well right here, but then I realized how tight of a fit it would be, so I did the recessed live well instead on that middle deck. And what I ended up doing is I put in another seat pedestal here so that you can take it off this pole and then put the seat right here. And it's actually very comfortable if you just put the seat right there and then sit right here. So you have a couple options. You know, if you're a bigger person and this was too tight of a fit with the seat up here, I mean, this is perfect right here. And then you can see I have my second fish finder up here. This one actually is not hooked up to the switch panel because, you know, you're probably not going to be using this one at all times, especially if it's just you out by yourself. So I ended up wiring this up, you know, with an inline fuse and some plugs. And I have a separate fish finder battery just for this fish finder, a Lowrance Hook 3X. Perfect for up here if you were the person that was sitting up here. Yeah, again, really happy with the way that it turned out. And pretty much all the wiring up here for the LED lights, the headlights, just runs under this deck. I need to tuck that wire back down under. But I think it turned out pretty clean. Yeah, I have these wires here, and I just have some wire loom over them, so it's not plain wire. And some people may say, oh, come on, you should have wired that a little more cleanly. Guys, I am by no means a professional, and I didn't want to go through with finding a way to, like, get them in here. I know some people try to get them, like, in these seams or something like that, and that way they're barely visible. But I was fine with this right here. I mean, I think, you know, for just me by myself doing this entire boat renovation, I'm super happy with the way that it turned out. And you can still stand up here. Yeah, it's not a casting deck all the way to the top, but like you can still stand up here, cast your line out. It's comfortable, it's spacious. Got that other cup holder up here like I told you guys about. So if you were the one sitting up here, you got everything you need. Again, rod holders. This is a brand new reel and rod, by the way. Super excited to take that out and use it. But that is pretty much it for the 16-foot Lund aluminum tour. Yeah, I'm just super proud of the way this came out. I'm very impressed with myself that I was able to do this all by myself too. I mean, no one helped me with this. This was all me, and this is my first boat flip ever. I say flip. I guess it's only a flip if I sell it, which I might, you know, eventually one day, but I'm definitely going to use the heck out of this thing, and I'm super excited to do so. But yeah, guys, definitely let me know down in the comments below what you think of my boat build. If you would have done anything different, or if you like the direction that I went with it. I know it kind of depends on what you're going to use the boat for, what you're fishing for. But I think, you know, for me, it works out really well. So I am going to probably post a video in a couple weeks after I take this thing out for the first time at Lake of the Ozarks, and hopefully we catch a lot of fish with it. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to end it there. Like I said, I'm going to throw up that video of what this thing looks like at night, because I don't want you guys to miss that, because it looks even better. But that's all I got for this video. So with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more people can find this. I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.